Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the mitzvah of Mezuzah. Let's begin with the makar, the source of this mitzvah. In Parshat Ve'etchanan, it says at the end of the first paragraph of Shema, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha, and you should write them on the doorpost of your homes and your gates. This mitzvah is so important that the pasuk is repeated in Parshat Ekev at the end of V'haya im Shemoah, the second paragraph of Shema. Now here's an actual mezuzah. We can see that these two paragraphs of Shema and V'haya im Shemoah are written in the mezuzah. A mezuzah is handwritten by a sofer, a scribe, on a cloth, a piece of parchment. The sofer writes using a kumus, a quill, and the ink he uses is called dio. If we look more closely at this mezuzah, we can see that there are lines scratched into the cloth. This helps the sofer write on a straight line. Now a doorway has four parts to it. First is the top of the door, the lintel. This is called a mashkof. Each doorpost is called a mezuzah. And the door is called a delet. Now if the doorway has all four of these parts, we make the bracha of likboa mezuzah before we hang a mezuzah. Please note, if you're hanging a number of mezuzot, only one bracha should be recited for all of them. Now if the doorway has a mashkof and two mezuzot, but lacks a delet, we do hang a mezuzah on it, but we do not make a bracha. Furthermore, even if the doorway is lacking a doorpost on the left side as we enter the room, if there is a doorpost on the right, we do hang a mezuzah, but we don't say a bracha. Now, where do we hang the mezuzah? Well, let's pretend our doorway is 9 feet tall. We hang the mezuzah on the bottom of the top third, meaning at the 6-foot line. Also, we hang it on what would be the right side as we enter the room. Finally, we hang it on an angle if we can. However, if the doorpost is not wide enough, we hang it straight up. To review, the pasuk says, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha, and you should write them on the doorpost of your homes and your gates. From the word beitecha, your homes, we learn a number of halachot. First, that in order to need a mezuzah, the room must be large enough to live in, meaning it must be at least 4 by 4 amot. Now a room that is 4 by 4 amot is 16 square amot. There is a machloket whether a room that is at least 16 square amot, but has sides that are less than 4 amot, needs a mezuzah. In such a situation, we do indeed hang in the mezuzah, but we do so without a bracha. So to review, this closet would not need a mezuzah because it is not 4 by 4 amot. This closet, however, is much larger and would need a mezuzah. Well, what about a large bathroom? The Shulchan Aruch states that a beit hakisei, a bathroom, and other similar rooms are patur, exempt from the mitzvah of mezuzah. Why? Lefi she'enam asuyim l'dirat kavod. Because a bathroom is not considered a proper dwelling. Now what about a garage? A garage, particularly one that is near a home, does get a mezuzah. Well, what about a sukkah? Many sukkot are 4 by 4 amot. The Shulchan Aruch says a sukkah is patur from mezuzah. The Shach explains that this is because a sukkah is a dirat arai, a temporary dwelling, and a temporary dwelling is patur from the mitzvah of sukkah. So, let's review. The Torah teaches us twice in the paragraphs of Shema and Vahaya im Shemoah that we have a mitzvah of Mezuzah, and both of these parshiot are actually contained in the Mezuzah. The Mezuzah is handwritten by a sofer on a klaf using a kumus and dio. The parts of a doorway include the lintel, the mashkof, the doorposts, which we call mezuzot, and the delet, the door. If a doorway has all four of these parts, a bracha is recited before attaching the mezuzah. But if it lacks a door or even a left doorpost, we hang the mezuzah, but without a bracha. We attach the mezuzah on the bottom third of the right doorpost as we enter the room. The mezuzah should be leaning in towards the room. However, if the doorpost is too narrow, the mezuzah can be hung straight up. From the word beitecha, we learn that the room has to be big enough to live in, meaning it is 4 by 4 amot. A room which is not 4 by 4 amot, but is 16 square amot, does get a mezuzah, but without a bracha. And we do put mezuzot on a garage. Finally, from the word beitecha, we also learn that we do not put mezuzot on a door leading into a bathroom, since it is not considered dirat kavod. And we don't hang one on a sukkah, since it is a dirat arai, a temporary dwelling. What about this gate? Would it need a mezuzah? Well, the pasuk says, "Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha," and you should write them on the doorpost of your homes and your gates. So many gates would indeed need a mezuzah. It was a pleasure learning with you today. Let's do it again soon.